Teacher Talking Sports, what it is, we do, how we live. And a few days ago, I started my NHL Mount Rushmore series by decade, where I attempt to name the four best NHL players in each decade. Started with the 2010s. Today, we're doing the 1980s. This will be in a playlist, NHL Mount Rushmore playlist, along with my NHL Mount Rushmore's four best players on each team, four best players in NHL history at each position. I also have it for MLB, NBA, NFL. You can check them out. But anyhow, in alphabetical order by last name, these are the four players I decided to include. And if you're an NHL fan, you know the Islanders and Oilers dominated the decade. And that's really three of the four guys here, as we have Mike Bossy, Ray Bourque, Paul Coffey, and Wayne Gretzky, alphabetical order by last name. Those are the four guys I chose. More on them shortly, but some honorable mentions include Mark Messier, Yari Curry, Mark Cow, Al McGinnis, Dennis Potvin, Brian Trottier, Larry Robinson, Dennis Savard, Peter Stastny. We got Dale Howard, Chuck Michel Goulet, Bernie Federko, Marcel Dion. Goalies wise, Patrick Waugh played part of the decade. Tom Barrasso, recent Hall of Famer. Billy Smith, but Grant Fuhr. But let's get into the four guys I chose. Again, alphabetical by last name. Starting with Mike Bossy. So, Bossy played 8 seasons in the decade. So let me say I'm going from the 79-80 season to 88-89. So Bossy played from 79-80 to 86-87. Of course, he retired very early, but was mighty productive in those 8 seasons. He was a first-team All-NHL 5 times in the decade. Had Hart Trophy finishes of 3rd, 4th, 6th twice, 10th, and 11th. Also won 3 Lady Byng trophies. Let's take a look at his season-by-season numbers for the decade. So overall, Bossy in 524 games had 400 goals, 417 assists, 817 points, was a plus 258. Bossy led the league in goal scoring in 1980-81 with 68, one of 4 seasons in which he had at least 60 goals, another 2 at over 50, had over 100 points and well over 100 points, had at least 117 points in each of the first 6 seasons of the decade, had a 83 assist season, but in the first 6 seasons, at least 51 assists in every one of those seasons. Other than his last season of his career, he was at least a plus 27 every season in the decade. Led the league in power play goals in 80-81. Of course, as I mentioned, the Islanders dominated the early part of the decade. They won the first 4 Stanley Cups of the decade from 1980 to 1983. Bossy was named the Conn Smythe Trophy winner in 1982 for 3 straight postseasons, 1981, 1982, and 1983. He led the league led the playoffs in goals scored with 17 altogether in the decade. Bossy in 112 games, 77 goals, 71 assists, 148 points, plus 26. He is the first member of my 1980s Mount Rushmore. Next, and I include this guy in the 1990s, and it was tight. I wonder if I would have if I realized I was going to include him in the 1980s as well. But he was so awesome, I shouldn't even think like that. But Ray Bourque, Bourque played the whole decade, all 10 years with the Boston Bruins. His rookie season was 79-80. In that time, Bourque was Calder Trophy winner in his rookie season, 79-80. Won 2 Norris trophies in 86-87, 87-88. 2-time first-team All-NHL. But listen to his Norris Trophy finishes. Let's start from his rookie season until 88-89. 4th, 4th, 2nd, 3rd, 3rd, 2nd, 4th, 1st, 1st, 4th. So clearly, arguably the best defenseman almost every year of the decade, or at least in the top 4 at Hart Trophy finishes. Runner-up once, 5th twice, 8th, and 10th. We take a look at his season by season numbers for the decade. So Bork played in 718 games, 211 goals, 545 assists, 756 points. So yes, more than a point per game as a defenseman. 347 plus minus of 347, incredible. Twice in the decade, he led the NHL in shots on goal, but Bork had 2 seasons with over 90 points, an additional 2 with over 80, an additional 2 at over 70. Um, at 31 goals in 83, 84, an additional 4 seasons with at least 20 goals, had a 72 assist season in 86, 87, an additional 3 seasons with at least 60 assists, a plus. Was in the positive and plus minus every year, no lower than plus 17, as high as plus 52, which came in his rookie year. Incredible. Now, Bork did not win a Stanley Cup in the decade. They did make it in 1988, where they were kind of overmatched against the Edmonton Oilers. But Bork did play in the postseason every single year in the decade. 87 games, 15 goals, 59 assists, 74 points, so plus 34. So really can't blame him for not winning a cup, just as I mentioned in the 1990s when I talked about him. So he's the second guy on my 1980s Mount Rushmore. Next, let's go with another defenseman. I'm talking about Paul Coffey. So Coffey began his career in 1980-81, played 7 seasons with the Oilers for this decade, played the final 2 with the Pittsburgh Penguins. So won 2 Norris trophies back-to-back in 84, 85, 85, 86. Also had Norris trophy finishes of runner-up twice, 3rd, 5th twice, and 7th. Twice made the NHL's first All-Star team. Had Hart trophy finishes of 4th, 4th, 10th, and 15th in the decade. We take a look at his season-by-season numbers, and it was just an incredible decade from Coffey. 653 games, 254 goals, 595 assists, 849 points, a plus 264. So he had 4 seasons in the decade with over 100 points and 138 in 85-86. Incredible. 2 seasons of at least 40 goals. Had a 90 assist season in 85-86. An additional 3 seasons of at least 80 assists. Was a plus minus in the positive each of the first 7 seasons of the decade. And I mean, 4 straight seasons from 82, 83, 85, 86. That was over a plus 50. Guy who had a bunch of power play goals in the decade, 86 in total, even 17 shorthanded goals, including 9 in the 85-86 season. 3 Stanley Cup wins for Coffey in the decade with the Oilers. Overall, 105 games in the decade in the postseason, 38 goals, 80 assists, 118 points, a plus 58. He's the 3rd member of the 1980s Mount Rushmore. And let's end it with probably the most dominant decade by any player in the NHL at any time. Talking the great one, Wayne Gretzky began his career in 79-80 with the Oilers, played 9 seasons for them before joining the Kings for the final year of the decade. And again, just completely dominated all around. He won 8 straight Hart trophies from 1979-80 to 86-87. Then he finished in 3rd his last year with the Oilers. Shame on him. And then won the Hart trophy again with the Kings his first year there. I mean, 9 Hart trophies in a decade is absolutely incredible. Even won a Lady Byng trophy. Art Ross trophy won 7 times. But let's take a look at his season-by-season numbers for the decade, because they're absolutely insane. So 774 games, 637 goals, 1,200 assists, 1,837 points, was a plus 568. I mean, what can you say? He led the league in assists every single season of the decade. Over 100 every year except his first year, which was his first year in the NHL, 79-80. Had at least 137 points every year in the decade and had 4 seasons with over 200 points. Led the league in goals 5 times in the decade. Every season had more than 50 except 1987-88 when he had 40. Led the league in plus minus 5 times, including 84-85 when he was a plus 100. Insane. Had 2 seasons with double-digit short-handed goals. And in the postseason, won the 4 Stanley Cups with the Oilers. Was a Conn Smythe Trophy winner in 1985 and 1988, the second and fourth of their championships. So his playoff stats in the decade: 128 games, 84 goals, 187 assists, 271 points, a plus 89. I could go on forever about Wayne Gretzky, but he's the fourth member of the 1980s Mount Rushmore. So it's kind of crazy that I put Gretzky on once and Bork twice. I mean, Bork is incredible. Let's say not all guys on here are equal, though. Bork might have been the fourth guy both times. Not, and I don't mean that in a disparaging way. To be one of the 4 best players in a decade is incredible. Gretzky was probably 5th or 6th for me in the 90s, and head and shoulders, knees and toes above everyone else in the 1980s. I also should have mentioned Mario Lemieux as an honorable mention for the 80s. Only 5 years, I believe, but incredible numbers he put up. But anyhow, stay tuned for tomorrow. I'll be doing the 1970s. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.